Okay.
Oh
Awesome.
my god, welcome back to fucking nylons.
Welcome
Oh my
back.
god. You thought
Um,
we were dead.
I had the flu for a week and a half. That's why there's been no videos for a moment.
Yeah, it's all his fault. Just like everything else.
I had 103 fever, and I had both flu A and flu B apparently. So I was bedridden for quite a while.
They looked at Brett and they said, Brett, congratulations. You've created Flu C.
That's what I told them actually. Got some laughs. I'm a funny guy.
Okay.
Looks great. See, this is perfect lighting. You don't need anything more.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. See you guys next week. All right, peace
Roll
out.
credits.
uh,
No, I just had one thing to talk about today. Do you have anything that you were
yes,
going to
I did
bring?
have something
Oh, there
specific.
you
Yeah,
go.
that's happened today actually. But
Oh.
you can go first though.
Oh. I had an experience last week with not being invited to things. Um,
You told me this at Harless, did you not?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we actually already had this conversation, so now it's irrelevant for the dialogues. Screw you guys. You don't get to know.
Yeah.
Now, basically, is it okay to invite yourself when you're not invited?
I mean, is your presence really hated that much? I feel like if someone I didn't invite just randomly showed up, it wouldn't be that out of compliance. I'd just be like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Not unless it's an incredibly formal,
You just wouldn't
secluded.
care.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really care. Unless the person I did invite shows up with a
I
gun,
feel like I would care
I wouldn't really. I'd be like, yeah.
because, like, if I wanted you there, I would have invited you. So if you show up when you weren't invited, then it's like I didn't want you there, but you showed up, so now I have to deal with
But I
the
feel
fact that
like
you're there.
if someone showed up and I wanted them there, I'd say, hey, man, it's great to see you, but this is kind of our thing. If you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't feel any problem with just telling them head on. I wouldn't go around on their back and not invite them and then do something silly like that. I would just be very front with them because that's a
Mm.
respectful thing to do.
Yeah, I wish everyone was like that, Brett. I wish that was.
Just, just be honest.
Yeah,
Not that hard.
yeah. Well, you'd be shocked about how
Because
much
there
I
are ways to
appreciate
be
you
honest
guys.
without hurting people's feelings.
Too bad, because everyone loves hurting each other's feelings these days. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we hate the world. We're all killing ourselves,
I mean, you see the whole
killing at you live,
bombing stuff.
bombing stuff.
Yeah,
What?
Iran.
Oh yeah. What? Like recently? There's always
Yeah,
something.
bro.
There's always something going on over there.
No, we just bombed them.
Really? Haven't we?
We
We always been doing that though.
we just sent like missile strikes
Like today?
2 days ago. They said. I mean, this is getting completely and utterly off topic, but I'm just. This isn't political because I'm speaking facts. They supposedly said that the missile strikes killed Israel's leader, supreme leader.
So it's a good thing, right? See you, bad guy.
Depends on who you talk to, because it's the whole like Palestine thing. Anyway, what did you want to talk about today? In the
Um,
arguments. Fuck you.
in the arguments. No, the meditations I've been having
Hmm.
have been absolutely insane. Matter of fact, I wrote about it earlier. Actually, I'll probably just read you exactly what I wrote. Kind of sums it up a little better than just me writing it off the top of my head. Yeah, here you go. These strange meditative experiences have continued and gotten stranger in quality. I tried again today, just meditating as a regular means of regulation. When about 10 minutes into a calm state of mind and completely quiet thoughts, it occurred again. The familiar lightheadedness that I've had, like I've never experienced before, not even on LSD or psilocybin. I've tried thus far to explain it in physical and more rational ways, as a means to not only understand it more simply, but also as a means to calm my concerns about it. This mic's good. Flashed. Anyway, I would be delighted to discover that this lightheadedness is not only maybe some bad food I'm eating or just an ear infection, which would explain the equilibrium being off balance, which cannot be entirely ruled off at this point. Nonetheless, let me elaborate on the feeling. It creeps up on me about 10 minutes into meditation as an extreme lightheadedness, and, excuse my use of pseudo description here, feels as though I am entirely separating from my body and slowly moving upwards. This is accompanied with a feeling as though I'm about ready to pass out, and at this point usually I open my eyes and stop because it becomes too overwhelming. The feeling, these experiences, they are frightening and they confuse me. I don't know. Either I'm reaching nirvana or astro projecting or some such, and I'm praying the answer is a simple physical one. What alarms me is that this separation, or that this sensation, as far as I can discern, is not from anxiety or panic, but it is the result of calming my body and mind so successfully that the silence becomes deafening. What does this mean? I have innumerable good guesses, but not a concise answer just yet.
Hmm. Is that all of it?
There's more, but
Oh.
it's not necessarily as important. It's just me guessing.
Oh.
It's been frightening, to be honest with you. So as the root of the beginning of this is I'm a person who does things fast. Like my nervous system is very fast paced. Like I'm always like, as an example, if I itch myself, I go like, like I move fast. And that's stupid. I know you're gonna laugh, but it's like,
Yeah. Yep. No, fast.
it's, you know what I mean. You don't need an example. Yeah. Okay, cool. As for our audience, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
Scratch fast.
I scratch fast, yeah.
Scratch fast, audience.
Not as reflective as anxiety. I'm always a person
You're a
who's like,
fast-moving person.
I need to do this, I need to do that, I
Uh-huh.
need to do this. That's
Uh-huh.
kind of how I am. That's how I've always been. And I witnessed this from my parents, not to blame them, but my mother is really bad with this. And I realized it's up to me to try to stop this so that it not only affects my health, but also maybe develops into something that affects the people around me. So it's up to me to stop that and confront it. Anyway, as a means of this, I've been trying to meditate to slow my heart rate down and to stop my fast-paced behaviors. And that's why I've been meditating. It's not been to seek some sort of like, spiritual feeling. It's been just to calm myself down. Just a simple kind of meditative solution. And every time I've meditated, I get about 10 minutes in and I get so like pins and needles. I get pins and needles everywhere on my body. It is like it is like it's overwhelming. Like I get it everywhere. I feel lightheaded. You know when you stand up really quick, it's like that, but like just a lot of it. And it's like, am I moving? And I like usually will lay back down or like kind of feel like I'm about to pass out. And today it felt like I was like, I mean, literally, it's a pseudo description, but I felt like I was weaving, I didn't feel much in my body, is what I'm saying. Which sounds stupid. I know you're not a spiritual, godly person. I'm not either, really, with this meditation, to be honest. I think it's just good because it slows your heart rate down, and that extends to your mental state of mind. But
Yeah, but if you lowering your heart rate also means lowering your blood flow.
that's what I've been thinking, like maybe I'm just breathing so slow that my blood flow to my brain is. That's exactly what I was telling Mark earlier.
It's completely possible.
That's what I think.
Because it's also a very similar thing with when you force yourself to breathe too heavily. Like hyper-focused breathing also causes a very similar effect.
True.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is, which means you're going so slow to the point where like you're limiting the oxygen flow to your brain, which is probably why you feel lightheaded. Because that's what happens when you stand up really fast.
The blood flow isn't, yet to your limbs. Yeah, exactly.
So could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you tried adjusting your breathing patterns, like as you approach that 10-minute mark, or every single time that you've been meditating, you've just done it the exact same way every time?
Pretty much the same. It's pretty much just I go as slowly as possible, and I focus my attention solely on my lungs and nothing else.
Yeah.
And once you do that for so long, eventually your mind kind of just stops, and it's like, all right, and then it does, and you do kind of reach a really good peace of mind. But it's never been coupled with some sort of like.
I mean, yeah, I'd say
sensation.
Maybe as you get closer to that mark that you've hit consecutively.
I think it's my heart rate. It's definitely my heart rate because my heart rate typically rests at around 40 or 50.
Which is low to begin with.
Very, very low.
Yeah, it's like track athlete level.
And so if I'm breathing it slowly down to like 30, which technically, if you get below 30, you're clinically dead, that would make me feel like I'm dying because I'm getting to that point where my heart rate isn't pumping up blood and everything's kind of. That's
what my guess would be.
Probably the simple answer, but also the answer to that just means stop meditating because I can't meditate because my heart rate's already too slow. But I don't want to do that because meditation does bring me.
I wouldn't say that. You're coming at meditation from a place of like lowering your heart rate. Like,
No, it does that automatically when you slowly breathe, and that's kind of the point of
well,
meditation.
like I consider meditation to be more of a state of mind than a state of body. Like
You're
you're
right.
finding mental clarity before you find physical clarity.
Yeah.
I feel like you're coming at meditation from a holistic standpoint, which is good. Holistic meditation is always good. But because you're focusing on your lungs and your breathing specifically when you come into meditation, that might be why the breathing specifically is holding you back. I think if you slow it down mentally and not physically, you might be able to bypass this problem and still be able to meditate without the potential health complications.
This thing's flashing.
Yeah, it's been blinking. Hopefully, it doesn't die on you. I don't know. I've never
That would
tried
suck.
meditation before. But that's also because, like, and maybe I should to improve my attention span to myself. I feel like I don't, I don't have a like,
I hope this thing isn't dead.
I don't have a long attention span for talking to myself about myself. Not as long as it used to be.
I mean, the light's still green, so that's good.
Hmm.
What do you mean attention for yourself, though? How does it relate that to meditation?
Well, I was relating it to how I think meditation could help me because I've never really been one for nor attempted meditation.
I feel like it's not necessarily the focus on yourself. You're kind of just defocusing everything. Kind of just a blissful disassociation. That's how it feels
Okay.
to me. Which is good because it's stress relieving. You kind
Hmm.
of you stop thinking about everything else. But the thing is, at least within the Hindu culture, is you're zoning out not only your pain but also your pleasure. You're zoning out everything. So it comes at the risk of good and bad feelings when you do it.
Makes sense.
I was 16 when I tried it for the first time, and I remember reading a book about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. And this at this point, I hadn't believed in God and wasn't spiritual at all. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't think meditation really is useful, but also like, who am I to judge? So I went home, went back in my backyard, and I think it was either first or second try I tried it, and I got about 20 minutes in, and I felt like this rush of like serotonin and dopamine. It felt incredibly relaxed, and I was planning on going inside and doing homework, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go walk for the woods. And I remember like walking around, like picking up leaves and like looking at them and picking up sticks, like looking at the sun. Like I just slowed down and I just kind of looked around me, and that was my first experience with it. Immediately, it was kind of okay. This does have an actual benefit,
Nice. It's pretty cool.
and it's been that way since.
Hmm. That's cool. Oh, I could try. I think I could.
Really
I
not.
think everyone could. Yeah, I think everyone could take something away from meditation, especially in our fast-paced world now.
Especially, I as I get older, I think is it my mother that I'm inheriting these fast movements from in my behaviors, or is it
Just a
America?
reflection of the world.
Or, just America with how busy our lifestyles are. Because
Could be
really, it
both.
looks like it's both. Yeah. So is everyone suffering from this problem, not just me?
Well, I mean, I think our culture incentivizes the one that moves fast. Because I think a lot of people that we associate laziness with are the ones that haven't caught up. They're not at that speed. And so if you're too slow for America, then you live a horrible life or an unfulfilled one.
Stereotypically unfulfilled. Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a speed requirement for our culture and our country. And if you can't hit it, then you get left behind. Last one in, last one out.
Which is an odd thing that we derive happiness from productivity because it never was like that in past cultures. In fact, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that that was inherently like reproduced in everyone.
Well, yeah. And it had to do with like the job boom because you associate, productivity with happiness because more productivity is a higher paycheck. productivity with happiness, because if you're productive, then you um, accomplish more of your goals, which is something that could increase happiness. Like, it makes sense to me, but I think we've made it the tried true number one when you really shouldn't be exclusively basing your happiness on productivity.
100%. Yeah, my culture sucks. Anyway, did
It
you
does.
see the Jim Carrey? Like they replaced Jim Carrey. Did you see that?
Dude, Jim Carrey's dead.
Did you see
That was
that?
not Jim Carrey.
Like I know I'm not one for like you have to always
His
say
eyes and
anecdotally.
eye color
I'm
are
not one for
completely different.
conspiracy theories, but that does not look like Jim Carrey. Like it really doesn't.
He didn't sound like him.
It didn't sound like him. He didn't look like him. His facial structure was different.
And what sucks is, like, he was one of the biggest. Like, if you go back and watch his old, Jimmy Fallon interviews, stuff like that, he did not shy away from some topics.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised with all this chaos that's going on that he was, now that he's out of the public eye, and then he just happened to book this random France award show, and so they were like, "Oh, we need Jim Carrey. What do we do? Send this guy." They thought we had all forgotten, so they thought that it was, I guess, a good time to finally swoop in and
I
let a
mean
naysayer know.
that's casually done, especially with like you were saying the Epstein files. You were talking about integrity. Michael Jackson was blamed as a pedophile, and we found out that he was the one actually saving the children. That there was some sort of elite group behind all of this, just doing some shady stuff, and kind of everyone just
Well,
accepts it.
the fact that the people that run our country would rather sacrifice our people than let word get out that they had sexual relations with toddlers is honestly baffling. Because, like, going to war to distract from the Epstein files is insane.
There must be worse things on the list if they genuinely try to go to war. If your theory is correct,
I
that
wonder
all of
if
this
there's
is not.
any. I wonder if there's anything more than just the things that you'd consider Epstein related.
Oh, definitely.
And
There's got to
so,
be. There's no way the web is just what we can see. You know.
in my opinion, there's no reason to be hiding it at this point, unless there is something more damning than just.
Exactly. Yeah, there's got to be
And, like,
more.
to be fair, what has come out is awful.
Yeah.
Like, might have to bleep this in sensory warning, but, like, they were, like, eating babies. Like, there are
Really?
emails about just eating babies and lots of rape. Sorry, censors. Um, if that's in there, because, like, my biggest thing is, why censor something you know that people know,
Yeah.
unless there's something else you're trying to hide. If we already know, it's like, okay, well, I mean, you know now, and you guys have no power to do anything about it. So if I just give you the rest of the information, you guys will know more, but you can't do anything about it.
I guess they're probably still
Because I feel like there's more than
they're
enough
still
evidence out there.
discerning whether or not we will do things about it. That's why the
There's still
information.
more than enough evidence out right now to incriminate and charge multiple different people, and no one's doing it because the people that would do the charging are also in on it.
Yeah. You said everything in a sentence right there. Like literally. That's basically it. And everyone else that's not involved in it are too powerless to do anything.
Exactly.
You know.
They're not in positions of power.
So just whatever. You know.
The people meant to hold the other people accountable are also in on it.
It's everyone. Like, have you seen Mr. Beast? Like he doesn't look the same as he used to look.
I'm sure. I mean, you have to understand that the moment you get any sort of influence, you're going to be sought out to join the upper ranks of our society because they'd rather you be on their side than against their side.
Hypothetically, if and when that happens to us, fuck, I'd rather just run the woods. Like, get away from me.
In regards to what?
Let's say we get millions of followers and we're just free minds talking on
Oh
podcasts.
God!
And let's say
For our lives, we'd have to stop.
I would stop before
Yeah, we'd
I
have to
wouldn't be
stop.
somebody who presses it. I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna go live my life with my wife and chill and just take the back note because I'm not gonna die for it.
Well, I feel like if we ever reach that point, the majority of our listeners, I'd hope, would be smart enough to understand that if we made an apology video and said that, like, everything we said we didn't really believe, they'd be able to see
They'd
through
be
it.
like, all right, yeah,
And they're doing this to protect themselves, but they actually don't believe that. I'd hope I'd hope that they'd, you know, be able to understand.
That's
But yeah,
that's,
no, we'd
that's I
have
mean
to stop
that's
because
an
like we'd
insane
have families to
hypothetical.
protect and like, ugh. And I think that's the mistake with a lot. That's the mistake a lot of people that have already been taken out didn't do.
What do you mean?
They didn't know when to walk away
Yeah.
publicly. You can still do your own private investigations, and if you get canned for that, you get canned for that. Well, like Michael Jackson spoke out in the public eye. Charlie Kirk spoke out in the public eye. Like these were very public people who shared their at the time they were considered conspiracy theories, ideas, accusations. They were very public about it.
And they were
You
right.
got to
Yeah.
know when the rats are crawling around in the walls and when to turn the lights off and leave the house. You got to know when. Because the moment you say something too much, they'll be like, "Yeah,
To be
I think
fair,
you've said enough."
for Michael Jackson and anyone else's sake, it's pretty hard to like see behind the scenes what's happening and not want to say something about it because it sits in your conscience heavily. I would imagine, like just being the only person that knows about it and being the fact that no one else would believe you really for saying it. It's haunting. It's haunting.
Well, when the majority commits the crime, who's the minority got to tell that isn't another majority?
Yeah, exactly. I
Even
would
even
hope.
other minorities don't believe you because they believe the majority. Because why would I go against the grain when there's a larger group of people that believe this and a very small group of people that believe this? No, they don't do that. You're crazy. So it put him in between a rock and a hard place because he's going against the majority, and the other minorities
It's pretty much the story of
subscribe
all
to the majority story.
history. That's why the Catholic Church had power for over 600 years. That's why anybody had power ever, basically.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have to gain other than, I guess, being a martyr and potentially starting a movement of going against the majority? The majority of people that go against the majority lose. Plus,
I,
if you follow the like 300 or 500 year civilization rule, we're like 40 years overdue for our civilization to collapse.
I thought this said 250 years after a country started.
Is it 250?
I think it's 250,
I know
and we
it's
were
something like that.
1776, and I think 2025 was the 250 mark or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's like,
Uh,
or no, wait, this year is
I
2026
thought we were overdue from what I remembered.
because 1776. Well, it doesn't count. I guess 1783 is actually when it went into effect.
Are we sure the year's 250?
I guess it doesn't matter, but
Last I checked, we were overdue. But I mean, basically, what I'm saying is like we're cooked.
I would sure hope that our content wouldn't be something they would seek out to have control over.
And our
Do you like this content would be really something to be like, all right, we got to replace these schmucks.
the world will probably end before we actually end up making this worth anything.
Do you think so? Within years,
I have serious worry that I won't be able to see 75 before the majority of the world goes to shit, or I die, or both.
really?
Yeah, truly. Because you have to understand that it's obviously you don't watch anime, but for whatever are 2 or 3 viewers that do,
Or is bringing up anime as a source?
there's this scene in Hunter x Hunter where this guy named Netero is talking to there. It's basically just like a animal or an insect with human consciousness. And so he's fighting the insect, and the insect has absolutely no idea why this guy he has one arm and one leg, and like because the rest of his body's been absolutely mutilated and he won't die, and so he's looking at him and he's like, "How are you even still standing?" And Netero says, "You one thing you will never understand about humans is um the endless depths of our." Oh fuck! Let me look it up. It's like the endless depths of our. Oh, fuck, let me look
Whatever it is, it has a lot of depth.
You know nothing of the bottomless malice within the human heart. That's going to ruin us. We are our own worst enemy, and we
I would say so.
we are
Yeah.
the
I mean,
organisms capable of the most hatred.
yeah. There's a lot of good in this world, though, and I'd like to speak out for that. But unfortunately, the people in the power are not the good. So. and they kind of decide our fates really at the end of the
Which
day.
is
So
why it's time for the civilization to fall yet again.
either that or revolt, and we change it for the good, Patrick. Right?
Civilizations fall because corrupt people are put in power. The people that led the revolution, whoever is left, now become the new power, and they obviously stand for good because they just took out who was bad. And then over time, the same cycle occurs because usually, and I hate to be that guy, the corrupt people are the best at getting into positions of power because they know how to manipulate, swindle, and take advantage of. So over the course of the first 150 years of the 250 gap or whatever it is, it's just power slowly shifting from people for good to people for bad.
That's a good observation.
And then the
Yeah.
final 50 are just exclusively years led by people for bad, slowly creeping us back into that cycle of where they'll get taken down again.
Is there really any good way to actually hold a civilization accountable for the good rather than the bad? Is there any way to stop this process?
Is
That's a
there
big question,
is there
obviously,
any
but
way to stop the fall of
power from inherently
civilizations?
becoming corrupt within a civilization.
I think so, but at the same time,
I mean, look at like
I
the Aztecs, the Mayas, those civilizations. They had
they
massive
just killed
cities.
each other. Like if you had a problem with the leader, you just went up and killed him.
So that's that. There's the answer. We just copy that.
Well, the problem.
I mean, like the white man's conquesting is what led to this, I guess, because the natives in both North and South America didn't necessarily have the. Of course, their civilizations weren't quote unquote as big unless you consider Central America because it was massive there.
Hey, for what it's worth, the Native Americans put up one hell of a fight.
No, they didn't.
We're talking bows and arrows versus guns. I feel like
It's
they
because
should
their
have.
spirit
I
wasn't as
feel like
crushed.
I feel like they should have gotten wiped way earlier than they did.
They got wiped slowly, and gruesomely.
Well, I mean,
It sucks, really. It does.
well, what also sucks is like the the people that the people that the first English settlers in the United States derived from are also just as corrupt and evil. So like, oh, we're running away because we're better, and then they went and proceeded to do the exact same thing.
Well, I had this question I wrote in one of my books a long time ago. Is it does the world demand greed from us, or do we demand greed from it? Like, is it the settlers were, like you say, corrupt, but is anybody corrupt just given the right circumstances? Give the settlers a bunch of guns, would they have shot the Indians, or were they just nice to them in the beginning because they didn't have the power to be mean? Is it just power that corrupts? Like if me and you were given $1 million, we immediately turn into assholes. Are we only taking the high ground morally in this episode because we're just broke?
I think
You know,
power exposes those who are corrupt. I think you can be corrupt but blend in with people who aren't because you don't have the means of displaying it. If you don't have the means of if you don't have the means to show your corruption, then how is anyone supposed to know you're corrupt? Which is why politicians get elected the way they do. They didn't have the power or the means to display their corruption until they got into power. So the majority of the time we pull up hindsight is 2020 and like why did we ever elect this person? Well, because they didn't have the power to display their corruption until we gave it to them. That's how I would say it. So no,
so yeah, power.
if you and I were to get $1 million, we would not be corrupt because we didn't have the corruption before the power.
It's bold to say for two guys who don't have $1 million. You know, because we don't know. I've never had $1 million.
Well, I mean, like I see all those stories all the time where it's like woman finds 100,000 or $500,000 on side of fucking bridge in a bush, returns it, or like the hypotheticals online where it's like you randomly stumble upon $750,000 in $100 bills in a briefcase. What are you doing?
Buying a Bugatti.
I'm living a quiet life and never working a day in my life again, or 750,000. I'm like, because you have to find a way to do it the right way, because like
You
otherwise
say that.
she'll be hunted.
You say that, but you don't know because the power eats away at you. I think my theory on why anybody related to anything the Epstein's did, it's a natural process like this. You become rich or you're born rich, and to satisfy yourself when you're rich, you buy cars, buy expensive hookups, you buy expensive houses, things that satisfy your thrill because you're so rich that nothing really, makes you excited anymore in life. And eventually, those just don't quite do it. So you start maybe having sex with toddlers, kidnapping them, eating them, the more grotesque things because that's how they get their kicks. They are so rich and powerful that they take power from people who don't have any because at that point you're so bored you do that. I don't even know what you said before that, but I'm sure that answered. That was always my theory on them, though. Is that at that point,
They were
and
doing
you,
it
oh yeah,
because
you discover your $750,000. It'd be nice to say, oh, I would just live a simple life, but eventually the thrills become nil, and you have to do something more with it.
if you have the money and the power to experience everything that the legal world has to offer, you start dipping into the illegal
Legal,
stuff.
because it's the same reason why people masturbate to taboo porn because the regular stuff, it's like if I shouldn't do it to the taboo, but it's fun. I shouldn't eat children, but it gives me a feeling. I'm just explaining this. I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining the psychological.
It very well could be.
It's just that, and that's
Very
why
well could
power
be.
leads to that.
Combined with, I mean, the actual belief part, I fully believe that they believe in some serious witchcrafty and crazy stuff.
They're like all Satanists or whatever.
Could be worse. I don't
What's
know.
worse than that?
Because I feel like it was at least in
They're
part
Mormons. That's what's
religiously
worse.
motivated. Like I do truthfully believe a good part of it was like Bohemian Grove stuff.
What's that? Never heard of that.
You've never heard of Bohemian Grove?
No. Bohemian Rhapsody.
No. Um, there's this secret estate in California that
Bohemians hang
I
out.
don't remember how often they meet, but basically like all the rich and powerful people go there once a year, once for 2 years, whatever. It's called Bohemian Grove.
They have a sleepover and watch SpongeBob episodes.
Two people ended up snatching a recording, supposedly recording, I mean, it was never, of Bohemian Grove, and it's a whole bunch of people standing in front of a flaming owl statue, and apparently it was this like owl god in some sort of religion, and they were carrying something, and it was just a whole bunch of fucking rich people in outfits in front of this giant, effigy. And so supposedly Bohemian Grove is where like all the rich people, rich powerful people in the world come to be a cult, basically.
Bunch of hooligans.
So, I mean, it's been proven.
It's like Eyes Wide Shut. You ever seen the movie?
It's been
Mike
Yep,
Kubrick. Exactly
literally.
that.
And
Yeah.
what happened to him?
Yeah, he was gone, disappeared, or got shot in the back 8 times or whatever, right? Something like
Two
that.
2 days after that movie went
Really?
worldwide,
Is that soon?
he died. Apparently, the word on the street is he had an extended cut with a couple extra scenes
That's what I've heard too.
that he was told to cut, didn't want to cut, had to cut anyway, and before he could release the extended cut, he died. Oh, heartache. His health was like really bad. So that's why they no. They
It seems as though to point out that all this stuff is pretty much just true, I suppose.
he was Icarus, dude. He was Icarus. He flew way too
Yeah,
close to
I
the
was like,
sun.
where have I heard that? Yeah,
Way too close to the sun, they nipped his wings.
because they imagine themselves gods and they can take the ability away from people.
He got way too close, which I think like it's so horrifying rewatching that movie and knowing that it cost the director's life to make that project.
I've watched the movie. Yeah, it's just disturbing.
And it has to have at least some truth
And hey,
in order for someone to book an assassination.
if it's not true, it's a pretty good horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, him dying afterwards
Psychological.
is just like too damn coincidental. Like, gotta be some truth.
Way too coincidental because
You gotta have the most extreme
how are you telling me that
conspiracy
you're
theorist people.
so unhealthy to just die spontaneously, but you're healthy enough to direct an entire movie over 2.5 years?
Yeah.
With no stories on your underlying health conditions getting out. You're on set every day directing for 2.5 years, and not even rumors of your underlying health conditions. Yeah, I think it died. not even rumors of your underlying health condition
Gone.
are.
We're being shut down.
We're being exposed,
We're being exposed.
talked about in the news.
They're not letting us talk about it. That's why this mic just died.
I mean, we might need to get down. They start shooting sniper rounds through
I
the
would say
window.
we're safe at this point. We're not.
The FBI agent is listening. I mean, at the end of the day, like,
I guess that wraps up this episode. This is dead.
I'm just a kid and my life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid and my life is a nightmare.
Wait.
Remember this one?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's me, bro. I'm just a kid. Can't believe the microphone died.
Our responsibility.
I was in the chat.
Well,
We'll
give
film.
us-
We'll
give us
film
our-
the. We'll film the other 30 minutes at some other point. Yeah, yeah, and then we'll die mysteriously 2 days later. So if that happens, you know what happened. No, I'm glad we could put our tinfoil hats on today. Although I did think we had a good conversation about power and corruption. I think so. Keep paying attention. Don't say too much about things that you don't understand, because you're either wrong or you're too right. So be careful about what you speak up about. What you speak up about. But other than that, like, take care of yourself. Um, don't let the world matters and affairs affect you personally too much. Yeah, yeah. No, what the heck am I talking about? But for those of you that do listen and see this, keep your heads down. But every once in a while, take those blinders off and take a quick sneak peek and see where we're at.
What use is it for them to take their blinders off if we're all powerless to do anything about it anyway?
Because ignorance is bliss,
100%.
but ignorance is also you lose caution if you're ignorant. You'll be blindsided.
What caution do you need when you're being kidnapped?
No, I mean, I'm talking in general. Because the people that don't know are the people that lose everything without even being able to mentally prepare for it.
They can hear me.
This is the dialogues. He said, "This is our view. This is me. This is the room. That's Patrick. This is dialogues." This is what he said. This is the play-by-play.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time.